Welcome to the presentation of physics for class 12. In this section, we will study about resonance in AC circuit. This is the second part of alternating current. In this session, we will study about resonance in AC circuit, transformers, summary and worked examples. Resonance. Resonance is a phenomena of oscillations in RLC, that is resistance, inductor and capacitor circuit. A circuit is said to be in resonance if its natural frequency is equal to the applied frequency. For resonance, both L and C must be present in the circuit. The circuit in an RLC, the current in an RLC circuit is given by the equation Im is equal to Vm divided by under root R square plus XL minus XC whole square. This we have studied in part 1 of this session. For resonance, both inductor and capacitor must be present in the circuit. The current in an RLC circuit is given by Im is equal to Vm divided by square root of R square plus XL minus Xc whole square. There are two types of resonance. One, the circuit diagram shown here contains a resistor, an inductor and a capacitor. Resistance is represented by R, inductor is indicated by L and capacitor by C. Here is an AC voltage supply. So, resonance in series, because R, L and C, all the three circuit elements are connected in series, this is called series resonance. Here at resonance, the reactance due to inductor L, that is XL, is equal to Xc. Therefore, in this equation, therefore, voltage drop across inductor is equal to voltage drop across capacitor. Therefore, the Z, the impedance of the circuit, which is given by when XL is equal to Xc, both get cancelled and the equation for current will be given by Vm over R, and that is the Z, that is the impedance, it is minimum. Z is minimum, therefore, current will be maximum. V and I are in same phase because it becomes a resistive circuit. Therefore, I max will be is equal to V divided by R. I is the maximum current, where V is the supply voltage and R is the resistance of the circuit. The relationship between resonance frequency and the current is shown in the diagram or the graph here. The x axis we are plotting the frequency f and y axis shows the current. So, this is a current versus frequency graph. We know for resonance omega L is equal to 1 over omega c. Here, because it is at resonance, omega is represented by omega suffix r. Here, therefore, omega r L is equal to 1 over omega r c. Cross multiplying and taking a square root, omega r square is equal to 1 over L c and omega r will be 1 over root L c. Therefore, we can also from this equation we can calculate frequency. Therefore, omega we know it is 2 pi f r. 2 pi and 2 pi, when we take 2 pi here at the denominator at the right hand side, f r is equal to 1 over 2 pi root L c. See, this f r, that is the resonant frequency, is given by at this center point. This is the center point where current is the maximum. This is a resonance curve and this is the current maximum and this is the frequency. There are two more frequencies f1 and f2. These are at the half wave frequency. At this point f1 and f2, Im is given by Im is equal to V by R, Im by root 2, sorry, Im by root 2, there are two points. For Im by root 2, there are 2 points f1 and f2. This is the difference between f and f2 is called delta omega, or the bandwidth of the resonance frequency. Now, let us study about the variation of Z with frequency. So, here the at Fr the impedance is minimum, that is equal to R. So, on the left side of Fr, that is F is less than Fr, XL is less than Xc. Therefore, here XL will be greater than Xc, that is inductive reactance is more than the capacitive reactance. At F is equal to Fr, that is this point, XL is equal to Xc, and beyond this, that is Fr greater than F greater than Fr, that is beyond this point, XL will be greater than Xc. Therefore, variation of I with F, I first increases and reaches maximum at Fr, and then it starts decreasing. This is also a given equation F versus Z impedance. Therefore, here the impedance is more at the beginning when F is less than Fr, it comes to at Fr impedance equals R, and then beyond this the impedance increases again. Parallel resonance. At resonance, please see the circuit diagram for parallel resonance. Here the inductor L is connected in series with resistance R, and capacitance is connected parallel to inductor and resistance. That is, one end of the capacitor is connected to inductor, the other end to the resistance, and this is the AC voltage, supply voltage. That is, susceptance L is equal to the susceptance across L is equal to susceptance across capacitance. Therefore, current through C will be equal to current through IL, that is, the current is equally divided between the two circuits here, that is the upper end and the lower end. Therefore, the phase difference between the two also is 0. At this point, Z will be maximum, whereas at resonance in series Z was minimum, and here it is the maximum. Current here is given by I minimum. Therefore, that is equal to V by R, that is supply voltage divided by the resistance, and current is minimum. So, Z is maximum and it is current will be minimum. Please see the diagram here. X axis is the frequency, this is the frequency, and this is the current. This relationship between current and frequency is plotted in this diagram. Initially, the current will be maximum, and at resonance, that is at Fr, current becomes low and minimum, and then after, as we increase the frequency, again the current increases. So, Z will be minimum. So, current will be Z will be minimum here and Z will be maximum here. In this case, resonant frequency is given by Fr is equal to resonant frequency equals 1 over 2 pi root LC. Now, variation of Z, that is impedance with frequency. If F is less than Fr, that is SL greater than SC, and F is greater than Fr, F is greater than Fr, here SL will be less than SC. Variation of I with F, I first decreases, here it decreases as we increase the frequency, and then it reaches minimum, here this is the minimum, and then increases. This is for parallel, whereas in series resonance it is exactly the reverse. Note, in this case the resonant frequency is given by 1 over 2 pi under root 1 over LC minus R square L square. Therefore, here Z is maximum, that is equal to L by root L RC. This is the equation for Z. Z maximum is given by L by RC. And resonance frequency is given by the equation Fr is equal to 1 over 2 pi under root 1 over LC minus R square by L square. So, at resonance we have said Z is maximum equal to R. If we plot impedance Z versus the frequency on the x axis and Z impedance on the y axis, the curve is like this. It is also exactly reverse of the opposite to that of series resonance. So, at Fr Z is maximum. For resonance 1 by LC should be greater than, this component on the left side should be greater than R square by L square. This is the condition of resonance. Having studied series resonance and parallel resonance, let us take up quality factor and magnification with respect to resonance. Quality factor. Quality factor gives an idea about the energy stored and the energy lost in a circuit. It measures the sharpness of the resonance. The quality factor is expressed as Q is equal to omega naught L by R, that is equal to 2 pi into maximum energy stored per cycle divided by maximum energy lost per cycle, that is given by the again equation 1 over, in case of capacity this is for inductions. So, it is also given in terms of capacitance also. Therefore, Q is equal to 1 over omega naught C into R, or the equation can also be written as Q is equal to 1 over R under root L by C. These are three different forms of, only in terms of inductor and resistor, capacitance and resistor, and in terms of only inductor and capacitance. Normally we use this equation Q is equal to 1 over R into under root L by C. Magnification. At resonance, the voltage across inductance should be equal to voltage across capacitance, that is given by the equation Q into E, where E is the supply voltage. This is the supply voltage here. At resonance, magnification factor equals Q factor. So, magnification factor will be equal to the Q factor at resonance. Sharpness of the resonance curve is proportional to the quality factor. When quality factor is good, that is omega L over R is maximum, then the curve is very sharp, and that is also proportional to the magnification curve. When R decreases, see this equation or any equation, R is in the denominator. So, when R decreases, Q increases, and the sharpness of the curve, this resonance curve here and even in the previous series resonance curve increases. Therefore, R decreases, Q increases and sharpness increases. If the resonance curve is less sharp, that is, instead of sharp and narrow curve, if it is very wide, the selectivity is poor due to large range of variations in the bandwidth d delta omega. Delta omega is the bandwidth of the curve, which is taken at frequencies f1 and f2 as shown in the diagram in the previous slide. Hence, for a good selectivity, the resonance curve should be as sharp as possible. Resonance circuits are used in radio and TV sets for tuning purposes to access radio station within wide range of frequencies. So, with this we end discussions on resonance. In resonance we have studied parallel resonance. Resonance is a phenomena with which the circuits develop self-sustaining oscillations. There are two types, one is series resonance and the second one is parallel resonance, and we have also seen the respective equations for resonance in both the cases. Now, we will take up study of transformer. Transformer is a device which converts AC voltage or a current from one value to another value in a circuit. That means, if it converts, for example, a 440 volt supply voltage into a 220 voltage retaining the same frequency. It does not change the frequency, only amplitude is changed here. So, I can also say transformer is a device which converts amplitude of the input voltage into another value of the output voltage. Transformer works on the theory of mutual induction. For an ideal transformer, input is equal to output and its efficiency is 100%. Transformer consists of two coils wound on soft iron core. There are two coils. One is the primary coil here, primary coil on the left hand side, and this is a secondary coil. So, there are two coils, primary and secondary, wound on number of turns wound on a iron core, soft iron core. This blue colored is a soft iron core, laminated cores. These are soft iron core with laminations. So, transformer consists of two coils wound on a soft iron core, primary coil with NP number of turns. The number of turns in the primary here is, let us say, NP, represented by capital N suffix P, and the number of turns on the secondary coil is represented by NS. NS is the number of turns. When an AC voltage Vp EP is applied, when an AC voltage EP is applied to the primary, the resulting current produces an alternating flux linkage and induces an EMF ES in the secondary. Therefore, the voltage EP produces a flux here in this core, in the winding and core. That flux links with the secondary coil, and in the secondary coil the voltage is induced. So, the flux change and flux linked with primary due to primary current links with the secondary coil and produces a secondary voltage ES. Let us study the theory of transformer. The primary voltage EP is given by, we know, we have studied in theory of induction, mutual induction, that number of turns are NP and the flux produced due to this alternating voltage is NP into d phi by dt, that is change of flux produces a voltage, that is the input voltage, and this flux change of flux links with the secondary, and the secondary voltage is given by ES is equal to minus of which opposes the change of flux, that is why it is number of turns in the secondary d phi by dt. These are the two basic equations for flux between the change of flux, number of turns and the voltage. This is for primary and this is for secondary. For an ideal transformer, input is equal to output, that is input is EP divided into IP. IP is the current through primary. So, therefore, EP into IP is equal to ES into IS. This is equation 4. Now, dividing this right hand side divided by left hand side. So, ES by EP equals IP divided by IS. And this is also here, if you divide ES by, that is equation 2 by equation 1, we get ES by EP is equal to NS by NP. These are the equations, and that let us say these ratios are equal to K. That is, K is called the transformer ratio or turns ratio. This is called, let it be equation 5. So, efficiency of transformer. Efficiency of transformer is given by the equation output by input. Efficiency is represented by symbol eta. Therefore, eta is equal to output by input, that is equal to ESIS divided by EPIP. Let it be equation 6. Types of transformer. There are two types of transformers. One is step down transformer. Step down transformer converts higher voltage or higher potential on to a lower, higher potential on the left side and lower potential, lower voltage on the secondary on the right side. Therefore, step down transformer, in the step down transformer number of turns on the primary is greater than number of turns on the secondary. I will recollect types of transformer. There are two types of transformers. One is step down transformer, second is step up transformer. In a step down transformer, the higher voltage at the primary, that is EP, is step down is reduced to the lower voltage in the secondary. Therefore, this equation, if EP is greater than ES, the number of primary turns should be greater than the secondary number of secondary turns. But when the voltage increases, the current decreases. Therefore, the IP will be less than IS. See here, the voltage and current relationship. This is ES by EP, whereas IP by IS, that is equal to K. So, K is less than 1 in step down. Say for example, if the primary voltage is 440 volts, the secondary voltage will be 220 volts if the transformer ratio is 0.1, 0.5, that is half. If K is half and P is 440 and secondary is 220, then it is a step down transformer. Step up transformer. In the step up transformer, the primary voltage is less than the secondary voltage. Therefore, here the primary voltage is less than. Say for example, EP can be 220 volts and ES can be 440 volts. In practical cases, it is happening in many cases. EP is less than ES. That means we are stepping up the transformer voltage. Therefore, number of turns in primary will be less than number of secondary, but current increases. The current in the primary will be more than the current in the secondary, and transformer ratio will be greater than 1. Therefore, if in the step up transformer a 220 volts for example will be converted into a 440 volt, that means EP will be 220 and ES will be 440. Therefore, number of turns will also vary accordingly, and the transformer ratio will be 1:2. This is step up transformer. Transformer losses. In actual transformer, there are losses due to flux leakage. The basic principle of transformer is it depends on the flux linked, the primary flux linked with the secondary. So, if the entire flux generated here at primary is not linking with the secondary, then there will be loss of a transformer. The flux linkage is due to poor design of the transformer. This is reduced by winding the primary turns over the secondary turns. So, this is done by winding the primary turns over the secondary turns by properly insulating the two and ensuring that maximum flux is linked to the secondary. Copper loss. Copper loss is due to resistance of the winding. That is, we know this winding N1 and N2 or N primary and N secondary has got a resistance. This loss is due to the resistance of the winding, and this can be reduced. This copper loss can be reduced by using pure and thick copper wire windings. Iron loss. There are two or three types of iron loss. First one is eddy current loss. We have studied eddy current loss while studying Ampere's circuital law. Eddy current, that is the alternating flux, induces voltage in the iron core. The alternating current here induces flux, its flux in the iron core itself, which is a circulating current in the iron core which does not get links with the winding. Therefore, it causes heating of the core. It gets heated up. So, eddy current loss is reduced by using laminated core. That means there are number of laminations of strips that together this core is laminated to reduce the eddy current loss. Hysteresis loss. About hysteresis loss, we have studied the curve BH curve while studying the properties of magnetic material. Here the hysteresis, the magnetization of core is repeatedly reversed, which causes loss due to heating. That means when the current is, the alternating current is flowing through this iron core, a number of times magnetization and demagnetization occurs, which results in loss due to heating. This is called hysteresis loss. Hysteresis loss, as we have studied while studying in properties of paramagnetic and ferromagnetic material, is reduced by using core material with thin hysteresis loop. Now, we have studied and completed the theory portion of chapter number 7. Let us summarize whatever we have studied in chapter 7 once again. First, we will start with alternating current. An alternating voltage V is equal to V naught sin omega t applied to a resistor R drives a current in the resistor and is given by I is equal to I naught sin omega t. where I is the instantaneous value, I naught is the maximum value or peak value, sine angle omega t is the period of oscillation, where omega is the angular frequency and t is the time. This we have studied and shown in detail in diagrams earlier in this section, in section 7a. Therefore, I naught is equal to V naught divided by R, where R is the resistance in a circuit. This is with respect to pure resistive circuit. The current is in phase with the applied voltage. For an alternating current passing through a resistor, I is equal to I naught sin omega t, the average power loss average over one complete cycle due to Joule heating is given by P is equal to I naught squared R divided by 2. This also we have proved. To express it in the same form as DC power, P is equal to I squared R. A special value of current is used. It is called root mean square current and is denoted by I. So, root mean square or RMS of value of a current is the same as the DC power and is denoted by I is equal to I naught divided by root 2 into, that is equal to 0.707 times I naught, where I naught is the peak value, I is the RMS value, RMS current. Similarly, RMS voltage is defined by V is equal to V naught by root 2. So, I is equal to I naught by root 2 is the RMS value, V equals V naught by root 2 is the RMS value. These are given by 0.707 into V naught. Therefore, we have P is equal to I into V, that is given by I squared R. An AC voltage V is equal to V naught sin omega t applied to a pure inductor. It drives a current in the inductor. I is equal to I naught sin omega t minus pi by 2. Please note the difference. Here current and voltage are same. Sin is same. There is no additional factor like pi by 2 or pi by 2 in inductor. Here it is minus pi by 2. The difference between these two equations, you see here I is equal to I naught sin omega t in case of resistive circuit. In the case of inductive circuit, it is I is equal to I naught into sin omega t minus pi by 2, where I naught is equal to V naught by XL. Please compare simultaneously while noting down. Please note down all these equations. So, XL is given by this XL denominator is given by equations XL is equal to omega L, and it is called the inductive reactance. Omega is the angular velocity or angular frequency and L is the inductance in henries, and XL is the inductive reactance. The current in the inductor lags the voltage by pi by 2. That means this minus pi by 2, the current equation shows that the current is lagging the voltage. The average power supplied to an inductor over one complete cycle is 0. Please note. Here one complete cycle was I naught square by I naught square R by 2, the average power. Whereas here the power in the inductive circuit supplied to inductor is 0. An AC voltage, now in the case number 3 we have seen the voltage applied to an inductor. In case number 4 we will see an AC voltage V is equal to same voltage sin omega t applied to a capacitor C drives a current I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus pi by 2. Please compare here the current, the equation for current. You please study for some. So, if you have studied, let us compare once again. In case of resistive circuit, I is equal to I naught sin omega t. In case of inductive circuit, a circuit with an inductor, pure inductor, it is I is equal to I naught into sin omega t minus pi by 2. In case of a circuit with pure capacitor, the equation for current is I naught into sin omega t plus pi by 2, where I naught is equal to V naught over Xc, E naught over Xc. Therefore, Xc is equal to 1 over omega c, and Xc is called capacitive reactance. The current through capacitor is pi by 2 ahead of applied voltage. That means current leads the voltage. As in the case of inductor, the average power supplied to a capacitor over one complete cycle is 0. So, both in the cases of inductor and capacitor, the average power supplied is over a complete cycle is 0. Having studied resistor circuit, capacitor circuit and inductor circuit separately and individually, we will take a combination of resistor, inductor and capacitor circuit. For a series RLC circuit driven by voltage, same voltage V is equal to V naught sin omega t, the current is given by I is equal to I naught sin omega t plus phi. Therefore, I naught is equal to V naught divided by R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Phi is given by tan inverse of XL minus XC over R, that is this component divided by this component, that is inductive and capacitive component divided by the resistance. This denominator, that is Z is equal to R square plus XL minus XC whole square, is called the impedance. Z is called the impedance of the circuit. The average power loss over a complete cycle is given by, in respect of RLC circuit, is given by P equals VI cos phi, where cos phi is the power factor. Cos phi is the power factor of the RLC circuit. In a purely inductive or capacitive circuit, cos phi equals 0 and no power is dissipated even though a current is flowing in the circuit. In such a case, the current is referred to as a wattless current. So, in a pure inductive circuit, when cos phi equals 0, no power is dissipated even though a current is flowing in the circuit. In such cases, current is referred to as a wattless current. The phase relationship between current and voltage in an AC circuit can be shown conveniently by representing a voltage and current by rotating vectors called phasors. A phasor is a vector which rotates about the origin with angular speed omega. The magnitude of the phasor represents the amplitude or peak value of the quantity of voltage or current represented by a phasor. The analysis of an AC circuit is facilitated by the use of phasor diagram. This also we have studied and shown in different diagrams for each resistor, a capacitor and inductor in the detailed study of the previous sections. Finally, we come to summarize resonance and transformer. An interesting characteristic of a series RLC circuit is the phenomenon of resonance. The circuit exhibits resonance, that is, the amplitude of current is maximum at resonant frequency. Therefore, omega naught is equal to 1 over root LC. That means, at resonance, the angular velocity omega naught is given by omega naught is equal to 1 over root LC. The quality factor, the characteristics of a resonant curve is defined by the quality factor Q, defined by Q is equal to omega naught L by R. R, that is also given by equation 1 over omega C R. Q quality factor is an indicator of the sharpness of the resonance, and higher value, and the higher the value of Q indicates sharper peak in the current. A circuit containing an inductor L and a capacitor initially charged with no AC source and no resistor exhibits free oscillation. This is an application of resonance. That means, a circuit containing an indicator and a capacitor exhibits free oscillations, that is, it is used as an oscillator. The charge Q of the capacitor satisfies the equation of simple harmonic motion. Its equation, simple harmonic motion, is given by d squared Q by dt squared plus 1 over LC into Q equals 0. Therefore, the frequency omega of free oscillation is given by omega naught is equal to 1 over root LC. The energy in the system oscillates between the capacitor and indicator, but their sum or total energy is constant in time. These are the principles of a working of an oscillator. Then we will study about transformer. A transformer consists of an iron core on which are bound a primary coil of Np turns, that is the primary turns, and a secondary coil of Ns turns, that is the secondary turns. If the primary coil is connected to an AC source, the primary and secondary voltages are related by equation V secondary is equal to Ns over Np into Vp, where Vs is the secondary voltage, Ns is the secondary turn, number of secondary turns, Np is the number of turns in the primary winding, and Vp is the primary voltage. And the currents are related by equation Is is equal to Np over Ns into Ip. Please see the reversal of number of turns. Here Ns over Np, when we are talking of current, it should be reverse, Np over Ns into Ip. If the secondary coil has a greater number of turns than primary, the voltage is stepped up. That means, Vs is greater than Vp. This type of arrangement is called step up transformer. If the secondary coil has number of turns less than the primary, then we have got we have a step down transformer. Now let us study symbols, dimensions and units of physical quantities. Please see the diagram here. The first column gives the physical quantity, second column gives the symbol, and the third column dimensions, fourth is the units, and in the remarks column we have given relationship between different parameters in an alternate AC circuit. First is RMS voltage. RMS voltage is represented by a symbol V, and its dimensions are ml square t to the power of minus 3 a to the power of minus 1. Its unit is volts and represented by V. Therefore, V is given by Vm by root 2. Vm is the maximum peak value of current divided by root 2. RMS current. RMS current is given by symbol I and its dimensions are A and its unit is current A, amperes, and I is given by Im by root 2. Reactance. There are two types of reactances. One is inductive type and second one is capacitive type. In the inductive type, the symbol is XL. L represents the Henrys or inductance. So, therefore, inductive reactance symbol is XL and its dimensions are within big brackets ml square t to the power of minus 3 a to the power of minus 2, close the bracket, and its relationship is XL is equal to omega into L. XL is the reactance, omega is the angular frequency and L is the inductance in Henrys. Capacitive reactance. It is represented by a symbol Xc and its dimensions are ml square t to the power of minus 3 a to the power of minus 2, close the bracket, and its relationship is given by Xc is equal to 1 over omega c. Please note the difference between XL and Sc. In XL, omega L comes in the numerator or as it is, whereas in Xc omega c is in the denominator. Impedance. Impedance is represented by Z. The combination of 2 or 3 elements is which is resistive in nature is given by ml square t to the power of minus 3 a to the power of minus 2. Therefore, it depends on the circuit elements. The impedance of any circuit depends on the circuit elements. Resonant frequency. Resonant frequency is given by omega naught or omega r. More commonly omega r. Omega r represents resonance. Therefore, its dimension is t to the power of minus 1 and resonant frequency unit is hertz or cycles per second. Radians, not cycles, it is radians, hertz or radians. Omega naught is equal to, it is given by the relations 1 over root LC for series RLC circuit. Please go through the text for knowing the relationship for omega naught and other LC in case of parallel circuit, parallel RLC circuit. Quality factor Q is dimensionless and it is given by Q is equal to omega L over R. R is equal to, it is also given by 1 over omega CR. Power factor. Power factor is also dimensionless and it is given by cos phi. Phi is the phase difference between voltage and the current. Please note down these physical quantities, symbols and units. It will be helpful for you in solving numerical problems. Work examples. Example number 1. What is the inductive reactance of a coil if the current through it is 20 milliamps and voltage across it is 100 volts? Here the given circuit is inductive, inductance L of a coil, current is given by 20 milliamps and voltage is 100 volts. We have to find out XL. Therefore, we know the equation is VL is equal to I into XL. Therefore, to find out XL, we have to rearrange the variables. XL is equal to VL by I. Therefore, VL is given as 100 volts, 100 divided by 20 milliamps. This 20 we have to convert it into amps. Therefore, 20 into milli is 10 to the power of minus 3, that is equal to 5 kilo ohms. Example number 2. A capacitor of 50 picofarad is connected to an AC source of frequency 1 kilohertz. Calculate its reactance. So, the capacitance is given as 50 picofarads. Here we have to convert picofarads into farad. that is equal to 50 into 10 to the power of minus 12 if you convert it into farads. AC source is frequency is given, F is given as 1 kilohertz. Here again we have to convert it into hertz. Calculate its reactance. That is, here reactance is, because capacitor is there in the circuit, it is capacitive reactance. Let us solve it. Solve. Given C is equal to 50 pf, that is equal to 50 into 10 to the power of minus 12 farads, and frequency is 1 kilohertz, that is equal to, kilo means 10 to the power of 3, that is 10 to the power of 3 hertz. We know the formula for Xc is 1 over omega c. Therefore, that is also given by 1 over 2 pi Fc. Therefore, this is 1 over 2 into pi into 10 to the power of 3, that is F frequency, 50 into 10 to the power of minus 12, that is equal to 10 to the power of 7 over pi ohms. Xc is in ohms. Here XL is also in ohms, kilo ohms here, because 1000 is there. Example 3. Calculate the impedance of the network shown in the figure. Please see this network. Here this is an alternating voltage and the resistor value is 30 ohms and capacitor reactance, that is Xc is 40 ohms. Because it is 40 ohms, it is Z or Xc, that is capacitive reactance and resistor and supply voltage. Therefore, the equation for RC circuit, this is a two element circuit, RC circuit is given by Zc, that is the impedance of a capacitor network is given by under root R square plus Xc square, that is equal to R is 30 and Xc is 40, 30 square plus 40 square under root. Hence 30 square is 900, 40 square is 1600. That becomes total is 2500, that is equal to 50 ohms. Example 4. In the given circuit, applied voltage V is equal to 50 root 2 sine 100 pi t volts and ammeter reading is 2 amps. Then calculate the value of L. L is inductor. So, in a given circuit, he says in a given circuit, the diagram is shown here. He has given a diagram. This is the voltage, AC voltage. This is an ammeter, measures the current, and this is inductor. This is a pure inductive circuit. So, the equation for V he has given 50 root 2 sine 100 pi t. So, this is V naught. V naught is equal to 50 root 2 and omega t, sin omega t, omega equals 100 pi volts. Ammeter reading is 2 amps. Here current is 2 amps. Given applied voltage V is equal to V naught sin omega t, that is equal to 50 root 2 sin 100 pi t. Therefore, V naught is equal to 50 root 2 and omega is equal to 100 pi. Therefore, we have to find out RMS value. So, RMS value is given by V naught by root 2. We have found V naught, that is a peak voltage. Peak voltage is 50 root 2 divided by root 2, that is equal to 50 volts. Therefore, VRMS is equal to 50 volts. IRMS is given as 2 amps. Therefore, we have to find out value of L. Therefore, we know from our relationship VRMS is equal to IRMS into XL, or XL is given by VRMS over IRMS, that is equal to 50 volts divided by 2 amps, that is equal to 225 ohms. This is the inductive reactance. XL is the inductive reactance 25 ohms. But we are asked to find out the value of L, that is inductance henries. Therefore, XL is equal to omega L. Therefore, L is equal to this relationship XL divided by omega. XL over omega. Therefore, XL is 25 we have found here divided by omega. Omega is 100 pi, it is given. Therefore, 100 pi, that is equal to 1 over 4 pi henries. This is the value of henries. Please remember all the relationship. We have been repeating these formulae a number of times. You are also required to work these examples again and again. Though these examples are simple substitution, but all the students are requested to work repeatedly and practice it at home, and in case of any difficulty, please refer again and again this video. Example number 5. If XL is equal to 50 ohms and XC is equal to 40 ohms, calculate the effective value of current in the given circuit. Here given XL is equal to 50 ohms and XC is equal to 40 ohms, and V is equal to 40 sin 100 pi t volts. Therefore, ZLC is equal to XL minus XC into 50 minus 40, that is 10 ohms. I naught is equal to V naught by Z, that is equal to 40 by 10, that is 4 amps. IRMS is equal to I naught by root 2, that is 4 by root 2, that is 2 root 2 amps. See, this is the given diagram. I will read and we will work the example again. Here there is one inductor and one capacitor. So he says XL is equal to 50 ohms. This is 50 ohms XL, and XC is equal to 40 ohms. This is also shown in the diagram, 40 ohms, and V here shown it as 40 sin 100 pi, 40 sin 100 pi t volts. Here t is not legible, but you note it as 100 pi t. Therefore, V naught, that is the peak value is 40 volts here. Therefore, ZLC, this is an inductive and capacitive circuit, two elements, L and C circuit, and hence ZLC is given by XL minus XC. Therefore, this is 50 minus 40, that is equal to 10 ohms. Therefore, I naught, the current through the circuit, is given by V naught by Z. Therefore, V naught is 40 and Z is 10, that is equal to 4 amps. And IRMS is given by I naught by root 2, that is equal to 4 by root 2, that is equal to 2 root 2 amps. Hence, the question is calculate the effective value of current. So, we have calculated and that is the answer. In the given circuit, calculate the voltage across inductor. Here the circuit is given, V is the supply voltage, V is equal to 100 root 2, and that is 100 root 2 sin omega t. Omega t is given here. Calculate the voltage across. Voltage across resistance is given as 60 volts and he is asking to find out VL. Given V is equal to 100 root 2 sin omega t, this is given here, volts, and V naught is equal to 100 root 2. So, the peak I V naught is 100 root 2. From equations, V is equal to V naught sin omega t, we know V naught is equal to 100 root 2. Therefore, Vrms is 100 root 2 divided by root 2, that is equal to Vrms is equal to 100 volts. Therefore, VR is given 60 volts. Therefore, VL is equal to, we have to find out VL. Therefore, V square is equal to VR square plus VL square, vectorial addition. This is a vectorial addition. So, VL square is equal to V square minus VR square. Therefore, VL is equal to V square minus VR square, that is equal to 100 square minus 60 square. 100 square minus 60 square is 6400, that is equal to 80 volts. This is the answer. The voltage across inductor is 80 volts. Now we will solve example number 7. A 100 ohm resistor is connected to a 220 volts 50 hertz supply. What is the RMS value of current in the circuit? That is part A. And part B of the question is, what is the net power consumed in full cycle? Given R is equal to 100 ohms, Vrms is equal to 220. So 220 volts, when they say this is the RMS value, and 50 cycles he has given. Therefore, the frequency, angular frequency is given by omega is equal to 2 pi f. 2 pi value is 3.14 into 50. Hence, omega will be equal to 314 radians. Therefore, Irms is given by Vrms divided by R, that is equal to 220. The 220 he has given, R is 100 ohms he has given, that is Irms is equal to 2.2 amps. So, first part of question, that is what is the RMS value of the current in the circuit, is answered. It is, the answer is 2.2 amps. Then second part, that part B asks what is the net power consumed in the full cycle, and this is given by, the power consumed is given by Vrms into Irms, that is equal to 220, that is a 220 volts into, we have found current value 2.2, therefore it is 484 watts. Example number 8. A. The peak voltage of an AC supply is 300 volts. What is the RMS voltage? So, he has given V naught. We have to find Vrms. The RMS value of current in AC circuit is 10 amps. So, Irms he has given. What is the peak current? So, he is asking to find out. See, he has given peak voltage and asking us to find out RMS voltage, and he has given RMS current and asking us to find out peak current. Let us solve it. Given V naught is equal to 300 volts. Therefore, Vrms is equal to V naught by root 2, simply 300 by root 2, that is equal to 300 by root 2, we get answer 212.13 volts. This is the answer for part A. Part B, he has given RMS current 10 amps. Therefore, we know Irms is equal to I naught by root 2. So, I naught we have to find out here, peak current. So, I naught is given by Irms into root 2, that is equal to 10 into 1.414, that is equal to 14.14 amps. This is the answer for peak current. Example number 9. A 44 millihenry inductor is connected to a 220 volts 50 hertz supply. What is the RMS value of the current? What is the power absorbed by the circuit over a complete cycle? Here the value of L is given as 44 millihenry, and it is connected to a 220 volts 50 hertz supply, and he is asking us to find the value of Irms of the current, and he is also asking what is the power absorbed by the circuit over one complete cycle. Let us answer it. Solution. Given L is equal to 44 millihenry, that should be converted into henries. So, that becomes 44 into 10 to the power of minus 3. Vrms, when nothing is mentioned, we have to take it as an RMS. So, Vrms is equal to 220 and F is given as 50 hertz. We have to find out omega. Omega is equal to 2 pi f, that is equal to 303.14, 2 into 3.14 into 50, that becomes 314 radians. Therefore, XL is equal to, we know the formula, omega L. Therefore, omega is 314 and L is 44 into 10 to the power of minus 3 from this equation. Therefore, IRMS is equal to Vrms over XL. Vrms is given as 220 volts here in the numerator, and in the denominator we will substitute the value of XL as 340 into 44 into 10 to the power of minus 3, that is equal to 15.9 amps. Power absorbed is equal to 0. We know that this is a pure inductor circuit, no power is absorbed in the inductor. This is the answer. So, no, please remember, no power is absorbed in the inductor or capacitor. Example number 10. A power transmission line feeds input power at 2300 volts to a step down transformer with its primary winding having 4000 turns. What should be the number of turns in the secondary winding to get an output power at 230 volts? So, input power means primary, it is 2300 volts. So, step down means the higher voltage is getting reduced to lower voltage in the secondary, that is higher voltage in the primary and lower voltage in the secondary. The number of turns, that is the NP in the primary is 4000 turns. What should be the number of turns in the secondary? So, he is asking what should be the number NS, and the secondary voltage is 230 volts. So, V1 is equal to 2300, N1 is equal to 4000, N2 we do not know, but V2 he has given as 230 volts, you note here 230 volts. So, V2 is 230 volts. Therefore, V1 by V2 is equal to N1 by N2, or N2 is equal to N2 is, that is number of turns in the secondary, equals N1 into V2 by V1. So, N1 we know as 4000, V2 is 230 volts and V1 is 2300 volts. Therefore, the number of turns in the secondary should be is equal to 400 turns. Simplifying this, you will get 400 turns. So, you please note the number of turns as well as the voltage in a step down transformer is lesser than the primary circuit, primary voltage and primary number of turns. Example 11. A 60 microfarad capacitor is connected to 110 volts 60 hertz AC supply. Determine the RMS value of current in the circuit. What is the power absorbed by the circuit over a complete cycle? So, this is a pure capacitor circuit connected with a value of capacitance is 60 microfarads. So, this 60 microfarad should be converted into farads, that is microfarad means 10 to the power of minus 6. So, it is connected to 110 volts. When nothing is mentioned, we have to take it as RMS value. The RMS value is 110 volts and F frequency is 60 hertz. So, we are required to find RMS value IRMS in the circuit and what is the power absorbed by the circuit over a complete cycle of a pure capacitor circuit. Solution. Vrms is equal to 110 watts. It is given. C is equal to 60 microfarad, that is equal to 60 into 10 to the power of minus 6 farads. F is equal to 60 hertz and omega is equal to 2 pi f, that is equal to 2 into pi is 3.14 into 60. Therefore, Xc is equal to 1 over omega c, that is capacitive reactance is given by 1 over omega c, that is equal to 1 over 2 into 3.14 into 60. C is 60 into 10 to the power of minus 6. This is the one. So, hence we have to find RMS current RMS current, that is given by IRMS is equal to Vrms divided by Xc, that is equal to I is equal to 110 whole thing divided by 1 over omega c, and substituting the values we get the current RMS current is 2.49 amps. The net power absorbed is 0 as capacitor does not consume any power. Example 12. If E is equal to sin 100 pi t volts, calculate the value of E at 1 over 600 seconds. So, at 1 over 600 seconds, the equation is E is equal to 10 sin 100 pi t we have to substitute as 1 over 600, that is equal to 10 into 10 sin given 10 sin into 1 over 600 is pi by 6. So, if you cancel here 100 to 100 gets cancelled 6 and this becomes pi by 6, 10 sin pi by 6. Pi by 6 is that the sine of pi by 6 is half. Therefore, the E will be equal to 10 into half equal to 5 volts. This is a simple, but you study it and understand very clearly. This is a very simple problem, but you please calculate and do it again and again. Example 13. Obtain the resonant frequency. This is a problem on resonant frequency of a series LCR circuit. L is equal to 2 Henry, C is equal to 32 microfarad and R is the 10 ohms. So, values of L, C and R are given. What is the Q factor, Q value of this circuit? He has asked Q value. Given L is equal to 2 Henry, C is equal to 32 microfarads, that is equal to 32 into 10 to the power of minus 6 farad, and R is equal to 10 ohms. Omega R is equal to 1 over root LC. We know we have to calculate omega R, that is 1 over LC 2 into 32 into 10 to the power of minus 6. So, omega is equal to omega R is equal to 125 radians per second. This simplifying we get 125 radians per second. Therefore, quality factor is given by the equation Q equals 1 over R into square root of L by C. R is given as 10 ohms here, L is also given and C is also given. So, we have to simply substitute 1 over 10 is equal to 1 over 10 into square root of L is 2 Henry, 32 into 10 to the power of minus 6, that is equal to 10 cube divided by 10 into 4, that is equal to 25. This is the Q value of this circuit. Now, so we will take up equation example number 14. The equation of current in AC circuit is given by I is equal to 4 sin within big brackets 100 pi t plus 5 by 3 amps. Calculate RMS value number 1, number 2 peak value, number 3 frequency, number 4 initial phase and number 5 current at t equal to 0. So, he has given one simple equation and asked you to find out 5 different parameters. Let us solve it. So, given equation is I is equal to 4 sin 100 pi t plus pi by 3. We will write our equation, original equation, which we have used in the theory part. I is equal to I naught sin omega t. Please compare these equations here. Here phi is the phase angle. So I naught, I is equal to 4. I naught is simply 4. RMS value of current peak value is given by I, that is equal to 4 amps. So RMS value number 1 is given by IRMS is equal to I naught by root 2. So that is I naught is 4 here, 4 divided by root 2 is the equation, 4 by root 2. This is RMS value is 2 root 2. Number 2, peak value as we know this is I naught is the peak value, therefore I naught is 4 amps. Frequency omega, we have to find omega is equal to 2 pi f. Here omega is 100 pi, this is omega t, this equation you see, compare this omega t and 100 pi t. So omega equals 100 pi, this is given here, that is given by f is equal to omega over, that is 100 pi over 2 pi, that is equal to 100 by 2 is 50 hertz. So f is given by omega over 2 pi. Omega is 100 pi over 2, it gives 2 pi gives 50 hertz. Initial phase in the equation, this equation plus phi is the phase. So phase, initial phase is pi by 3. This is simple, is just analyzing the equation, comparing and analyzing, writing the equations. And finally at t equal to 0, you put t equal to 0, the current I is equal to 4 sin pi by 3. The value of this one is at t equal to 0, 100 pi into t, this 100 pi into 0, t equal to 0, it becomes 0. Hence the remaining part is I is equal to sin 100 pi into 0 plus pi by 3. This is the value. Now with this we come to the conclusion of chapter number 7, dealing with alternating current. Please, this is a very important chapter and we have solved a number of problems, simple problems. There are much more complicated and ticklish problems for which we will be uploading separate videos after the end of the complete course. Please read it. In the next chapter we will study about electromagnetic waves. Till then, goodbye.